instructional materials plus teacher development. That if you add it, it will give you 70%. But the DSS, when they made its survey, it came back and said, no, the states were not buying the textbooks. The states were not doing the training as it was required. It wasn't given, it was a totally different source than this demand. And at the end of the day, they said, okay, leave the money, disaggregate it, leave the imbalance, leave the instructional materials out of it, leave the professional development out of it, and let the states work with UBEC to see, to see how it will actualize those particular programs. And that's why at the moment, the instructional materials, the states that decide which publisher they want, which textbooks they want to use, and so on and so forth. And what UBEC does is to make sure that these books are bought based on the recommendation of the states. For teacher professional development, of course, there are guidelines in terms of what is going to be done. But at the end of the day, again, the money for that particular program, for this particular program, are also transferred to states. Next thing. Now, why I do this presentation is to also give you an overview. As we are set to discuss various issues about basic education in Nigeria. Well, I don't know sometimes empowered or required by law every 3 years to go and conduct what is called, in the law is called national personnel audit. But actually it's a school census. Instead of going through the traditional method, we hope, and we have been pleading to states that for God's sake, let's terminate the old-fashioned way of gathering data. Let's find ways in which we can leverage on technology in terms of daily attendance, in terms of quarterly reports, in terms of attendance and other things, in terms of other methods that we can use. But at the moment, we have been waiting for states to give us this feedback on a regular basis. Unfortunately, it has not been forthcoming. So please and please, let's try to put in place a system of data gathering that does not involve sending people to every school in the federation through difficulties, difficult ways, and at the end of the day, spending again, hundreds of millions of naira doing it. A lot of students have assured me that, they will do that. But we are hoping and praying that this becomes a reality before the next national personnel audit in 2025. Now, the data that we have is what I give you a quick glimpse so that at least we have just finished about, the final report is in the editing process, but we felt that it's important to at least to present some glimpses of what we have found so far, particularly in comparison with the data of 2018. Next. Now, as far as basic education schools are concerned, where are we? In 2018, there were 146,266. But in 2022, at least we have an additional number of, it has moved 171,027, representing an increase of 16.9%. And this is made up of 79,775 public institutions and 91,252 private institutions. There are more private institutions, but please let's not forget, the private institutions have a lower load, in the sense that the majority of the people are still in those primary schools, even though there are less, the burden is still being borne by this in many of the states. Of course, there are some states where the bulk of that burden is borne by the private sector. Now, as far as early childhood centers are concerned, the numbers rose by 13.7%, that's from 81,562 in 2018 to 92,745 in 2022. The public ECCD centers showed a decrease of minus 0.79. Not only that they have not increased in terms of public, a lot of the increase that we have found in this particular sector is a decrease. As far as the increases are coming not from the public sector, they are coming from the private sector. Now, the number of junior secondary schools again rose from 146,466 to 171,027 in 2022. Now, available schools are inadequate to comfortably accommodate the children already in school, talk less of those desiring to go into school. Inadequate number of schools affect access to school, as children have to walk far distances to get to the nearest school, leading to irregular attendance and some dropout. Now, the last, discussion we were having with the World Bank on this particular issue, the calculations were made. We need an additional 20,000 20,000 schools to be able to accommodate at the junior secondary school level children to be able to walk at junior secondary school within a radius of with the 3 kilometers. The deficits are there, but again, it's something that we will pick up and discuss if we are moving to the Now, I think this is those are some of the statistics that we have already mentioned, where at the level of ECCD, you can see it very clearly. You can see the difference for 2 years, and then for primary, I think we can see it. For JSS, we can see it with the total that we talked about earlier of that increase of 16.9, but increase largely driven by the private sector. Next. Again, I think the whole idea is the percentages that we talked about earlier in terms of these increases. Next. Now, basic education institutions public, and it will show us why those problems are in mind. For ECCD, again, already you can see just the difference. It's a decline. It's a decline. For primary, there is a slight increase in terms of the number. For JSS, get a better increase of about 6.5%. That's why public is concerned. And at the end of the day, I think the total levels for 2018, we have the total basic education institutions at 76,827, but in 2022, the number has increased to 79,775 with a percentage increase of 3.84%. Now, the total enrollment in basic education in 2022 stood at 46,886,537, made up of males 23,858,390 and females of 23,062,032, showing an 11.9 increase over the 2018 figure of 41,896,000. Now, you can see again the various numbers of 7,268,000 for primary, 31,647,263, while JSS is 8,003,104. Next, please. Now, doing other ones rather than going to school, makes you feel that there's something wrong. So maybe that's why it's still just giving us some preliminary figures. We need to deep inside look at how can we make sure that we have the real figures. UNESCO is just a computer model in building and so on and so forth. Yeah, you can estimate. But at the end of the day, we have these acceptance realities that we have a real challenge. And that challenge is how we come and begin to address how to address this massive problem that we have. Now, you can even look at the figures of early childhood. You can look at the figures of the difference between W, because it's just a 3-year period. You still have a problem. You feel about 14 million. In terms of ratios, that is the added between our problem. So, we have always been just look at this. The increase that we are having in price at time is not significant. The population growth again is moving. We need to make sure that every year we are able to capture the changes that will be able to work with and can benefit. So that at least we can say that. Next. Now for enrollment, I think earlier, please put the entirety. Reduce it, yeah, it doesn't matter. You can see the difference again that we were talking about earlier. Now, early time, we are having a decline. And that decline is from the public sector. It's not from the private sector. And the other increase is, of course, primary school has been able to make some results there. JSS, yes, it's likely, from if you take 20, but if you look at JSS, the difference again is not significant, particularly for the public schools, and even for the entire figures that we are talking about. And next slide, please. And for JSS again, this is what we are talking about in terms of the public, the private, and then the total numbers in terms of the various increases between 2018 and 2022. Next. We have already started talking about out-of-school children, so I think I don't need to belabor the point here. Next. Now, the issue of gender parity. And I think it's very important, for us to see, the various problems. The national, with those percentages that we are having there. For the first time, I think 2018 2022 is giving us maybe a slightly positive picture. In the sense that there are some roads in some states where we are having
Here with me, the Anchorman, Akwa Ibom State Chief Protocol Officer, Mr. Morgan.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we welcome now His Excellency the Governor of Akwa Ibom State, We welcome you, Your Excellency, and of course the Deputy Governor of Akwa Ibom is also arriving, distinguished Senator Dr. Mrs. Akwa. We welcome both of you and all the other dignitaries who are arriving now with the Governor of Akwa Ibom State for the basic education boot camp for the year 2023.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let's take the national anthem. The national anthem, please. The Akwa Ibom State Anthem. The Akwa Ibom State Anthem, please. Please be seated. The gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of all of us here, I say and a warm welcome to the very first national summit on basic education in Nigeria, holding here in Akwa Ibom. At independence in 1916, Nigerians will recall that things went well for the country in all its ramifications, including the steady development and growth of the education sector. However, Your Excellency, in the last 3 decades or so, The nation has been witnessing a downturn in our development strides in many sectors, including the education sector, with the consequences of an astronomical rise in the number of out-of-school children. What happened? Where did we go wrong? And how do we get back on track? To answer these pertinent questions, the Federal Ministry of Education, in cooperation with the government of Akwa Ibom State and our development partners, have put together this summit with the theme improving access to inclusive quality education for all children in Nigeria towards achieving sustainable development goal 4. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, to formally welcome you to Nigeria's first national summit on basic education, please welcome to the microphone the Director of Basic Education at the Federal Ministry of Education, Dr. Mrs. Folake Olatunji. Can we put our hands together for Mrs. Folake?
His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Akwa Ibom State, Pastor Umo Eno, the Deputy Governor of the state, Our Excellency, the Deputy Governor, I'll get the names right, the Honorable Minister of Education, Honorable Minister of State for Education, Honorable Dr. Yusuf Tanko Sununo, my boss, top government functionaries at the federal and state levels here present, development partners, distinguished resource persons, invited guests, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It is an immense pleasure and a privilege to extend a warm welcome to every one of us gathered here today. We are convening for a purpose that resonates deeply with our collective commitment to the advancement of education, particularly in the realm of basic education. I'm delighted to be standing before you in this maiden edition of the Basic Education in Nigeria Summit, organized by the Federal Ministry of Education in collaboration with our partners and Akwa Ibom State. We are holding this in this beautiful land of promise. I think that deserves a round of applause. This collaborative endeavor exemplifies the strength that arises from shared goals and unified efforts in achieving the following objectives. 1, to assemble basic education stakeholders to deliberate on policy, practice, and implementation gaps facing the subsector. B, to ensure responsiveness of state ministries of education in compliance with national education policy decisions and programs. Thirdly, to harmonize and coordinate resources and activities in the basic education subsector towards the achievement of national goals and aspirations. Fourth, to monitor progress of states and ensure reporting to the Federal Ministry of Education for proper coordination.
The Honorable Minister of State for Education, Dr. Sultan Kusuru, Secretary of Government, the Head of Service, Honorable Commissioners, Special Advisors, Honorable Special Advisors, other Honorable Commissioners for Education from different states, the Executive Secretary of UBEC, the wife of the former governor of Akwa Ibom, service commanders and accountant join us here, chief executive and chairman of SUBEC, boards, commissions, and representatives of the Nigerian Governors Forum, particularly chairman, executive secretary, National Commission for Nigeria, and out of school children, heads of private organizations in the educational sector, students of the federal government, especially invited guests, members of the fourth estate of them, ladies and gentlemen. Please, I'd like to start by apologizing for keeping you waiting. We rounded off our ceremonies last night, and of course, we lots of guests to send off, continuing into this morning. I would have actually sent as the Deputy Governor representative, but I wanted to come personally. I spoke with the Minister of State, and I got very impressed about the way we're starting out with our basic education. And well, if we get it right here, I believe we've gotten it right for the rest of the days of our children. The basic education is the real bedrock, not the foundation. So I told him I would come. I'm sorry I came to a little bit waiting on the minister and all of us. I believe that I've accepted my apologies. This significant program shall remain indelible in the tablets of our hearts for many reasons. First, this month of September is not an ordinary month for us in our private state. It is a month that reminds us of the possibility of dreams if we work hard for it. Like our founding fathers did, and God granted their dream and gave us the state which we have named after him. This month, we celebrate the creation of Akwa Ibom State. For this year, 26 years ago, by the then military President Ibrahim Babangida. We pay glowing tribute to him for that decision that he took, and today, Akwa Ibom is better for it. We also use the occasion to pay tribute to our founding fathers and all of the leaders that God has brought our way since the creation of our state 36 years ago, both military and civilian. All of them have been a building block upon which Akwa Ibom State has risen to where it is. And we just thank God for them. We set aside this week to celebrate that achievement. Howbeit, out of this year, we have paid particular attention to entrepreneurship, and as we had our first made in Akwa Ibom trade fair, and it was really wonderful to see that we have lots of people that have creative ideas and are putting it to use. Our government, as part of our rice agenda, have supported and will continue to support our creative ideas, and that's what we've done this week. So this dream and vision of education for our country through the ministry, Federal Ministry of Education, we pray that this dream also will be achieved as we get into this event. The program is equally well cherished for us because it aligns with our vision for our children through education, as is contained in our governance compass, the Harmonize agenda. Our meeting here today is also unique because it is holding in the land not only fertile for agriculture, but also fertile for ideas, innovation, and creativity, which are the basic ingredients for basic education in our nation. On behalf of the government and people of Akwa Ibom State, I welcome the Honorable Minister of State for Education and other stakeholders who are here and wish you a successful deliberation and stay in our dear state. We are most appreciative for the choice of our state for this event. No doubt, it is not in error that the maiden edition of this boot camp is hosted in Akwa Ibom State in partnership with the Federal Ministry of Education. It underscores our commitment and passion to get education right from the basic education stage, because we believe in the philosophy of catching them young from the cradle. We are just over 100 days in office, but we have already pointed the direction which we are going in the education sector. As part of our agenda, again on the SDG Goal 4, we have taken education very seriously, and we looked at the issue that is being discussed today: improving access to inclusive education for all children in Nigeria towards achieving SDG Goal 4. While I was campaigning for office, we looked at this and carried out a needs assessment. One of the things we discovered was in creating this inclusivity for our children was just part of the thing that the key presenter, and Madam, thank you so much, had to wait to take some facts from your presentation to help us. I thank you for that very powerful presentation. Alongside with that, what we discovered simply was that we're still bringing our children in the 21st century to study in classrooms that were built before their grandparents were born. The environment is just not acceptable. They come in there very battered and tattered classes, nothing is working, and you expect some of them even sit on the floor. And the learning condition does not encourage the children to go to school. Some of them don't, even for those that go to school, there is some level of imbalance amongst them. Some of them wear good shoes, good uniforms. They come to school chopper-driven. Some of them have no shoes, they have no clothes. So when you get into the classroom, you are first of all very intimidated. Because those of you who don't have shoes, don't have boots, don't have uniforms, will be seen as people, unfortunately, who don't know anything. They could be the leaders in class, but just because their parents can't afford all of that need for them, they are not regarded as anything. So they get intimidated and drop out of school. Why do they want to go to a classroom where people will boo at them? So these are all the things we found. And that's why we made education a bedrock, and we felt we should start with the basic education from our primary schools. First of all, do a model primary school. Create a model primary school. Basic things are needed. Let the classroom be a classroom where they can have access to modern facilities, where our children will understand what a projector is, where they will know what a laptop is, where they will understand how they can from that. They will feel excited. Give them uniforms, give them shoes, and give them a football field. And then, primarily for us, get the teachers. Almost all of us here from Nigeria, you will agree that when you went to school, teachers were living right on the school campus. But right now it's not so. And so how do you expect us to assess what these children are doing? So we said, no, we must build a model primary schools where teachers will return back to live in the school. And that's what we are determined that by the grace of God, we will try as much as possible first to go around all the local governments, to build this model primary school, to show what we need, create a conducive environment, provide books for our children, provide uniforms for our children, provide shoes for our children, create as much as possible a level playing field, a where all of them together will really want to go to school. And then everybody will compete at the same level. Introduce them to computer lab at the primary school level. That is basic education that we need in the 21st century. And I believe that that's what we are doing. We believe that if we get education right, its ripple effect will splash gains in other sectors. We're intentionally in basic education because we know it is easier for the siblings to transplant to another siblings than to uproot trees, except for one we're looking for firewood. So that's why we're starting with basic education. Education still remains the bedrock of progress and development in all the world. But without learning-friendly policies and programs, the bedrock can be rocked. That should be part of the burden of this meeting, of relevant stakeholders in the sector. And I trust the resource persons here will guide our thoughts towards exploring ways to make our larger objectives to come to fruition. I'm delighted to know that these esteemed participants, drawn from various sectors of our society and international community, are here for a shared vision and mission to address, discuss, and resolve the intricate challenges facing the basic education subsector and education as a whole in our country. Therefore, as we are here to deliberate on policy frameworks, scrutinize practices, and confront implementation gaps that have for far too long impeded our progress in the educational sector and basic education in particular, you will be guided by the fundamental principle of the SDG 4. Esteemed guests and stakeholders, the truth is that our children are the message we shall send to the next generation that we may not be able to make. We will not love to send messages that will impede the communication of their time through education. The future of Nigeria lies in the hands of our children. And education is the key upon which we build our future. It is our duty to provide them with not just an education, but an education of quality and relevance, one that equips them to thrive in a rapidly evolving world. As we embark on this 4 days intensive deliberation, I trust that this thought will guide our deliberation and position education in the country. It is on this note that I declare this summit open. May I stay here so that it brings us to take us the way of desire and education to be. Thank you. God bless.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Gentlemen, please, just some minutes. His Excellency will return as we take the group photographs before we officially end the
I'm just liking this place.
Bago